What it do, boo-boo? Shabbat shalom. How is everyone? I'm good. I just got in from work, as you can tell by my fruity, snazzy Cabana Boy shirt. And yeah, we're here to do our extended reading for the weekend. Little tea on my life tomorrow. I'm excited. We've got a big crawfish boil at my sister's. It's gonna be a big party. I don't know how many pounds of crawfish I intend to eat, which is a preemptive moment right now. I'm gonna do my best to be here tomorrow night for the secret sermon, our secret teachings of Jesus. Worcestershire sauce. Secret teachings of Jesus, the secret sermons tomorrow that I do on Saturday. I will do my best to be here for that because it is also, before I get into that, I can't make any promises though because it's going to be a crawfish boil. I'm going to be eating a lot, like pounds of crawfish, a lot of sodium. There's going to be direct sunlight, probably drinking. So I'm hoping that I can function by tomorrow night. But I'm hoping that I can. Because in addition to our Saturday night sermon, there is a Hebrew holiday tomorrow called Shavuot. And it is like the grand finale of the Omer, which has been the window of time, which has been like testing like all the levels of our soul in just the right ways to really hit those soul contracts home. And yeah, if you've noticed that after Mercury has moved direct this week and, we're out of like the eclipses and stuff, you're starting to feel a little bit more grounded, a little bit more clarity, a little bit more, I don't know, being online. Like I was having a hard time just with like basic motor skills, like for a minute there. So I'm glad that I finally am getting back into my body and my moods are starting to feel less abstract. I'm feeling like I have form again, and I think a lot of other people are as well. We're starting to come back online, getting grounded. It will help you to do some rigorous movement if you can. Especially like with your feet, getting your feet on the ground and like going for a walk or like a run or maybe a nice skip, whatever floats your boat. But yeah, get your feet moving on the ground. It'll help you ground all of your like wispy soul that's just been like woo, like floating out of you. It'll help get you back into your flesh suit. Moving on. So, capping off this big testing time, we have sort of like this energetic party tomorrow night on Saturday night after midnight. So we've talked before, the reason why we do the studying of the secret sermon after midnight is not only because I get out of work late, but because the liminal space between the end of one day and the beginning of the next, that midnight hour, is very a powerful time. And between midnight and dawn are the most positive times of the day, of hours of the day, because they are the first fresh, pure hours, the very beginning. So that's a very powerful time. So this particular Saturday night after midnight is Shavuot. It caps off the end of this like challenging period, and it's sort of like this cosmic party of energy, and it is like one of the most positive windows in time of the year. It might actually be the most positive one because the sages and the Jewish people and the people that study Hebrew mysticism believe that it's very powerful to stay up all night from midnight or, just through the whole night, but definitely from midnight through dawn, studying Torah, studying the commentary, mingling, being together, eating, drinking, all the things. So they pull an all-nighter. And there's just so much positivity and light that can be embodied during that night and during that time. It's just like one of those mystical, magical things that does its thing on you during that time frame. So if you can, stay up late, stay up all night Saturday, and just connect with the wisdom of the light, maybe some mystical teachings if you can. If you have access to Zohar, that'll be good, particularly if you have an English translation. But yes, on to the extended reading for today. So I ended up pulling quite a lot of cards today because the first card we pulled was Seven of Swords. And it's just like, wah, wah. Like, that's the last thing you want to see for the weekend, right? So Seven of Swords is sort of a situation. I'm just going to start saying phrases that associate the meaning of this for me. Like, ooh, that's going to cost you. Shouldn't have done that. Ooh, that came back to bite me in the ass. Or, I feel like this is going to come back to bite me in the ass. Probably shouldn't have been so foolish then. So these are things that costly mistakes. Seven of Swords can also be a situation that talks about, it can either be a card that's calling you out for being deceitful or dishonest or like two-faced in some way, or maybe what is that? I can't think of the word that I'm thinking of. Oh, evasive. You're being evasive, or you may just being secretive and hiding something. This could be just the kind of white lie you tell someone to spare their feelings, but those should be discerned and not spent too freely, you know what I mean? So be careful about how you're using deception, and how it could be being used against you right now. Someone on the outside could be being dishonest with you, or you may not be seeing someone for who they really are, or they may be omitting information, or it could be someone is manipulating you or has tricked you in some way. That may not be the case. That's not always like the extremity that is playing out like in that extreme fashion. This could also be a situation that kind of runs afoul and ends up costing you money, or something that just kind of plays out in an unfair way. But what I was getting about it in particularly for this weekend was that, for one, I didn't want anyone to have any costly accidents. So just be careful and be extra responsible. Like, don't do anything like haphazard or foolish, or like do any misdemeanors or whatever. Just like mind your P's and Q's, cross all your T's and dot your lowercase j's and all that stuff. But more to the soul growth theme that we've been going through, I feel that because of the heightened manifestation power of the Gemini new moon and the Aries, or Mars and Aries conjunct with Jupiter, all of that extra manifestation energy, I feel like when we have a manifestation coming in, especially if we're trying to call something in that's big or important to us, the universe will test our self-worth to see if we will settle for what we used to, or if we've really embodied the up-leveling that we've been going through. And in Kabbalah, we talk about that, and we use the term building the vessel. So you put your work into the self-mastery and the self-discipline to have control of yourself and not be reactive, but to practice free will and to choose consciously. And the strength of the vessel to me is the faith that you have, but like the size of the vessel has to do with your self-worth and what you feel like you're worth. So tests will come in to test to see if or have you really up leveled, are you really resonating with that level of self-worth. And I feel like, because like all of our manifestations could have potential to come in right now, the universe is testing us, and it's saying, hey, don't cheat yourself out of your manifestation by doing things that take away from your self-worth. So when I see the Queen of Pentacles, I see someone who has worked on herself, built her kingdom up, someone who has a hold of her self-worth right now. And when I see this card, I feel like it's almost like saying like, hey, heads up, don't sell yourself short, and don't like short circuit at the last minute by settling for things that are less than what you deserve, less than what you want, not quite there, not quite exactly what you really want in your heart of hearts. Don't settle, don't sell yourself short, and don't do things that are like a low value response or behaviors. Don't partake in things that are going to lower your self-worth, because then you will be cheating yourself out of your manifestation coming through. And in order to make sure that you avoid doing that, you need to spend some time in reflection by yourself. We've got the Hermit, or at least like be paying attention to your private thoughts up in your mind, even if you are surrounded by people. Just watch your patterns, watch the way you react to things, watch how things affect you, and watch your responses, or watch the way that you want to respond. Try to pause and examine how you feel, and what your initial like default setting is making you want to do. And then explore, okay, so what does that tell me about myself? Is that a low value response, or is that a high value response? What is my response telling me about my self-worth, and how I can expand it and heal it and correct that even more and more? You want to shine some light on that and get some insight and revelation, so that you can actually end up being a person who can be relatable to others and be able to share, that with them. The Hermit is the teacher. They shine the light for others. They go ahead up the trail, up the mountain, and they kind of figure it out, and they go back and get the other people and they lead them up. So don't foil yourself at the last minute. Stay strong, stay in your worth, and really examine yourself, and use that divine gift of free will to proactively show up to your life the way that you want to, the way that you're creating your environment, the way that you're showing up as your higher self, or the potential to be more and more of your higher self, to create that dream life that your higher self would be living, So it's these moments that we're tested to say, okay, like, well, hey, what would my higher self do in this moment? What would the highest value me do in this moment, to start stepping into my potential, to start embodying that more and more and more, and don't short circuit. And so I wanted a little bit more detail about that. So I did pull some cards from the Straightforward Oracle. And generally speaking, I'm just going to go through them quickly, but this is an issue of self-worth was one of the first cards that came up. Also, save your money, let go of control, balance spending and saving, and this is a lesson you're meant to repeat. So your self-worth is an emotional issue, but it also ties into your money, because your money sort of reflects to you the condition and landscape of maybe your self-worth at the moment, or it can throw some hints there. So look at how that is kind of related right now. And if you're having any kind of money challenges, it's related to the self-worth thing. So you're being tested, your faith is being tested, and you just need to pause before you react. And just examine how all of these things are making you feel, how it's making you want to respond, and what that tells you about the level of your self-worth right now, and maybe what is connected, what kind of trauma or programming may have sunk in, and why, and what was that connected to? Why did you get that mindset, or why did you get that belief about yourself, right? Also, save your money and balance your spending. There may be something coming up, or it may just be that your money just appears to be slowing down for a minute. Don't get in a panic. Just maintain a vibration of abundance, but do that in a way that makes you feel secure. So cut your spending back, and then if you can earn more money right now, work on earning more money just for a minute until you feel good again. But just do that extra backup to be, to add that extra security for yourself, get ahead of it before it's a problem. So just don't be crazy with your money at the moment. And that also shows you tells yourself that it builds your inner sense of security and your inner self-worth, because you're telling yourself hey, I care about you, and I'm going to make sure that you're taken care of, and I'm not going to, blow our money and go wild and not be responsible. I'm going to take care of you like you deserve to be taken care of. And so this lesson is something that we have been repeating. And so it's something where you're just kind of going in a little deeper than before, another layer deeper. in the cycle of like playing this out and like really working this lesson through. And letting go of control is it shows the divine, the universe, everything, that you have so much certainty and so much confidence that no matter what, you don't have to really understand how things are playing out and why. You just know that everything can play out in order for your favor. And the universe is setting you up. Each step is orchestrated and ordered before you. And so each part and piece is moving into place at just the right divine timing to like set you up to take the right step. So just have certainty and faith that no matter what happens, it can turn in your favor and play out for your highest good. And letting go of control really allows the universe to work its magic, because you're not foiling the situation by trying to like take control over it. You're letting it unfold. You're letting the magic happen for you. You're demonstrating faith and confidence that you believe that everything is working out. But it's just, it opens the flow of the energy just in the most basic terms. You're not gripped, holding on to something, causing resistance. So it allows flow. It opens blockages. I think that was everything that I had wanted to talk about. Also, I will copy and paste our the post from Instagram today below so that you can read the other information that was written. It was probably not exactly what we talked about here now, but it was probably some of the highlights. But yeah, you guys, I hope that you have a fun weekend. I'll probably see you tomorrow. We finished the book of James, so I don't know what book is next. It's spontaneous, people. It's like in the spur of the moment. That's the point. Studying it together. So I haven't really thought much about deciding what book we're going to read next. I'm just going to like open up and see what calls us. All right. Have a good weekend. Ciao.